Welcome to your Corona update and market commentary. My name is Mark Kunaberti. I'm financial columnist for a host of newspapers and host of Money Matters Radio on 66 stations nationwide. Let's get right to the coronavirus before we take on the markets. A number of states are opening up or semi-opening up this week. This is April 26th, by the way. We're in the afternoon, about 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Arizona, hospitals and outpatient centers are opening up. Arkansas, lifting restrictions on elective medical procedures. Restaurants, gyms, and barber shops would be announced at the end of April. California, Governor Newsom here said we are not prepared to open up large sectors of society, but also certain surgeries will be announced to be opened up as well. San Diego announced April 24th that beaches could reopen for various forms of exercise beginning on the 27th. Speaking of beaches, I have a photograph of the Huntington Beach area, which is jam-packed yesterday, April 25th, and jam-packed April 24th. So that's rather interesting, a little bit disturbing to some people, I'm sure. Delaware is going to open up in phases. Certain restaurants, gyms, and things of that sort. We're seeing throughout the states in the United States that they're allowing certain restaurants and bars and things to open up as long as they stay at minimum capacity, like 25% or so. We're also seeing Georgia gyms, tattoo parlors, hair and nail salons, massage therapists, among other businesses, are allowed to open this week. Idaho, four-phase plan to begin opening on May 1st. Indiana, routine office cares like dentists, abortion clinics, dermatology offices, and veterinary clinics will be open on April 27th. Elective surgeries in Iowa, Kentucky, sort of the same thing. Louisiana, Maryland, Michigan. We're seeing a lot of plans to open up. We do have a lesson from Hokkaido, Japan. They had early COVID cases in February. They shut down for 3 weeks, and then the cases dropped off and they reopened up. And they saw a second wave that was actually more intense than the first wave, and they had to shut down again. Lord forbid if we'd have to see that here in the United States. So we're seeing a whole list of states that are planning to open this week or having plans to open shortly. Don't know if it's going to be too early. We'll have to see about that. As far as the stimulus and the markets are concerned, we're seeing massive amounts from the United States government. $1,200 per person, $500 per dependent under 16 years of age. So if you're a mother and father and one kid, you're going to get $2,900. We're seeing the Paycheck Program, Paycheck Guaranteed Program, PPP. We're seeing that was opened up for about $400 billion. That lasted about 3 days, and that was shut down. The PPP actually stands for Paycheck Protection Plan. They allocated another $400 billion, so those of you that did not get in the first round are going to get in the second round. We're seeing extremely large companies like Ruth Chris Steakhouse and some others that went into that program. That didn't make people too happy about that, so they got a lot of pressure to give some money back, and some of them did. We're also seeing a new program that's being hatched for specifically small businesses that have gross revenues under $1 million. They are prepared. They are talking about giving businesses under $1 million in revenues 30% free check. 30%. So if you had $1 million business, you could get a $300,000 check, but they will limit it to $75,000. So let's say you had $100,000 in gross revenues. You had a little restaurant or something. They'll give you a $30,000 check. That's the talk. That's the program. No businesses over $1 million in gross revenues would be able to get that. So we're seeing many states open up, of course. We're seeing all this talk about masks and that there's a shortage of PPE and there should be tests and there shouldn't be tests. I, for one, think the shutdown's gone a little too far. I think what we're going to see is the damage from the shutdown. I mean, this is a worldwide shutdown. This is amazing that stores, retail stores, and parks and tourist attractions and boats and airliners, everything is shut down worldwide. That's going to cause massive starvation, massive social problems. People are going to be dying from heart attacks and all sorts of things. So the cure might be worse than the disease. I know I'm going to get jumped on for that statement, but it really, really is frightening. So as far as the markets are concerned, the high was 29,500 and some change. early in the year, very early in the year. The low was 18,300 about mid-March. We're sitting around 24,000, 23,700 to be exact tonight. So we had a 38% decrease from the high, 38% decrease in the Dow, and we've had about a 23% increase from the low. Which way it'll go is anybody's business, however. But this week is monumental. All five big tech companies, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Facebook, they make up 20% of the S&P because of their size. 20% of the S&P 500 are those five stocks. Those are all posting this week. That's the first time this year that's happened. It's only the third time in history all those five stocks have posted in the same week. So they're going to have a real big bearing on the volatility of this market and what happens. This is the tech sector week, an amazing week for posting earnings, so we're going to see what happens. Last week, the fiasco was the oil fiasco. Oil fell into the negative. What did that mean? It doesn't mean exactly what you think it means, but investors will buy large contracts of oil, never meaning to take delivery. They'll buy 100,000 barrels of oil or whatever the contract states, and toward the expiration, when delivery date comes, like the contract says you got to take delivery, they'll sell it off to another oil company, to somebody that can take it and refine it. Well, the contracts usually call for the delivery to Cushing, Oklahoma, where there's a huge oil facility. All the investors that bought it, most of them don't have any facilities to take any oil, and they'd sell the contract off. Well, the expiration date approached, and Cushing was full, and the oil companies didn't want to take any more oil because there's no demand because of the shutdowns. So a lot of paper investors are saying, what do I do with this contract? I don't know what to do. I have to pay somebody to take the oil because I can't take delivery. I've got no refinery. So they were paying up to $40 a barrel for someone to take it. So normally where you could sell it for $20, $30, $40, $50, $60 a barrel. In 2009, it went for $200 a barrel. They were paying $40 per barrel to the oil companies that take it off their heads so they wouldn't have to take delivery. That was the May contract. The June contract is in force. It's the June expiration date is coming in about 3.5 weeks. It comes a month before. That contract is still positive, but I think we're going to run into the same problem. There's a historic crash in oil. Historic. Never happened before. So we're going to see what's going to happen. I would be very careful putting new money into this market. This has been all over the place. The amount of stimulus that the government is throwing at us is incredible. The money that they're throwing at the banks and the bailout and all the big corporations is incredible. So I do not know myself how they're going to avoid massive inflation this time. They did it in 08 and 09. They created about $5 trillion. Now they're creating over 10, 12. My guess it's going to be $20 trillion by the time they start giving all businesses $50,000, $75,000, giving everybody in the United States $2,000 checks. The employment checks, that's the other thing. If you apply for unemployment, it's a streamlined service. I don't think there's a lot of auditing there. I'm going to think there's a lot of fraud throughout all these programs. But in the unemployment checks, if you made $1,000, for instance, for a month, they're going to give you around $700 or $800 a month, divided into 4 per week. But then they're adding a $600 bonus per week. So you're going to be getting $2,400 in bonus money. So let's say your unemployment check only amounted to like $500. You're going to get $2,400 more because of the bonus money. So it doesn't matter how much unemployment you get. If you get $1, you're going to get $600 a week more. That, to my mind, is just incredible amount of money. And they're doing that everywhere. Those bonus checks last till about July. So the amount of money being created by the federal government is off the charts. And it's got to cause inflation at some point. Not right away, but it will eventually. Okay, the channel is Mark Cunaberti, YouTube channel to keep update on market commentary and virus commentary and stats. The website is moneymanagementradio.com. That is also free. So you can join either one if you like and keep up to date. And read my newsletters at moneymanagementradio.com. Okay, now my name is Mark Cunaberti. Mask up, be safe, and we'll talk to you in a day or two.